What's up, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Hot Mic here live on the John Rocha channel on this Friday afternoon. Thanks to everybody who's dealing with a schedule change and hanging out with us. I am John Rocha, joined as always by the Sneider himself, Jeff Sneider. What's up, buddy boy?
Hello, Johnny boy. How are you, my man?
I'm good, brother, man. I'm good. And, excited that the NFL season is back. Cowboys, Eagles last night. Decent game. I'm really surprised how close the game went. And we'll find out what happens tonight with the Chiefs and the Chargers later on. But excited that the NFL is back. Everything's back in full swing, brother, man.
We had spitting. We had lightning. We had everything you could want. Except for any fantasy points from A.J. Brown. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah. Someone said, I saw a tweet on someone posted, why did I select A.J. Brown if this linebacker wasn't going to throw the ball to him? And I was like, Jesus, what an incredible takedown of Jalen Hurts. But we are not here to talk sports or the NFL. We're here to talk about entertainment. So much going on in the world of entertainment and movies and all this kind of stuff. We're going to talk about it all here on the channel, or on the show, rather. We're going to get into so many things that have been happening, the Superman stuff, the Man of Tomorrow stuff, James Gunn, of course, all of that stuff. We're going to talk about some of the TIFF reactions, Sydney Sweeney, The Rock, what have you. Steven Spielberg, Call of Duty, some other announcements coming on, Fede Alvarez. There's a lot we're going to cover. But a great way that you can get heard on this show is to send in your questions, thoughts, and comments through the Streamlabs and Super Chats so that we can read them. I already see like 5 Super Chats already to start off the show, so thank you very much. But the Streamlabs is also a great way for you guys to send your support. It is pinned in the chat and in the description of this video. All right, Jeff, before we start, though, I want to talk about something that broke just as I was prepping the show and getting ready for it. This coming to us from THR, Edward Berger is confirming to THR that he is still on board to direct the next Bourne movie. He said, quote, "I will do it if Matt wants to do it," implying Matt Damon. "If we can really have the feeling that we are adding something new to the great Bourne films that were there already, that will be necessary to make Matt want to do it and to make me want to do it as well." And remember, Universal had shopped the rights, then ended up buying them, reacquired the rights. So what are your thoughts on these comments? Is this more just kind of window dressing comments? If Matt wants to do what I want to do, as long as it's new, or is this something that's indicating that they are moving faster to this happening than we thought before?
I think this is a pretty standard development story.
Okay.
I don't really think that there's much new. Like I said, they just pinned down the rights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why is it up to Matt Damon? Like, are we sure we even want to go with Matt Damon?
That's the second question I was going to ask you. Is Matt Damon the choice here still?
That's what I wrote months ago, where it's like the clear answer is to move on from him and recast younger.
Right.
But he's the star of your biggest movie, The Odyssey.
Right.
Like, well, why are we moving on from a guy who's about to be red hot next summer?
Yeah.
Maybe you make one more Bourne with him because of that. Because, like, again, if you'd asked me a year or so ago or 2 years ago, whenever, before he landed The Odyssey, I think Matt Damon maybe wasn't box office gold or, someone who you thought of as like on the upward trajectory, but The Odyssey clearly puts him on that trajectory. Yeah, it's hard to walk away.
Well, I see some people in the chat saying, I don't want anyone else but Matt Damon as Jason Bourne, but we know all these characters get recast. James Bond been recast multiple times, Batman, Superman, all these characters get recast. It does happen. There's even talks about finally the dam breaking where we're going to see maybe on the Lucasfilm side of things, Luke Skywalker and Leia getting recast. We already saw Han Solo getting recast. So the idea of going with a younger Jason Bourne makes all the sense in the world to me. You don't want to end up with the Liam Neeson situation where you're just going all the way until the end. They're getting too old and you just kind of have to adjust for that. Jason Bourne is supposed to symbolize there's so many stories you can still tell, and Matt has kind of aged out of some of those stories. So I would think you'd want to go with someone younger. The other thing I want to throw out, and you know this, Jeff, you and I follow Hollywood. Of course, you a little bit longer than me, but like, sometimes directors do this as a kind of a shield. Like, oh, well, Matt, as long as Matt wants to do it. If Matt doesn't want to, okay, you know what? I got to walk away from the project. Matt didn't want to do it. So it's a way of saving face while not losing a little bit of credit, a little bit of buzz around you that you walked away in alliance with the star rather than taking a chance on another actor.
I mean, when he signed on to it, I don't even remember when that was compared to when Damon was cast in The Odyssey.
Right.
Like, was the expectation to work with Matt Damon, or was it I'm going to get to put my own imprint on this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know that they even know necessarily what's going on. It sounds like it's going to be Matt if it's up to Matt, but
Right.
I just don't. Again, it's tough to say with the Odyssey coming, but I just don't think I would need to see a Bourne movie with him. I'm down to reinvent it with somebody younger.
Yeah, I agree as well. So we'll see. And I mean, it isn't like Edward Berger doesn't have a history of working with, recently with older actors like he did in Conclave. But if you look at All Quiet on the Western Front, that was all young actors that he was able to get some phenomenal performances from. Hell, I would argue some of those actors could end up in a Jason Bourne movie as maybe villains or fellow spies, which could be fascinating to see as well. So we'll see. Who would
you like to see as the young Bourne?
Ooh, I mean, Jacob Elordi seems to be grabbing all the headlines, bro. I mean, apparently he's the best part of Frankenstein. People are excited to see him in this Wuthering Heights film, although other people aren't. So, I mean, I like the idea of Jacob Elordi. He seems to be missing that thing, that franchise that's going to vault him above and past his other contemporaries who are angling and fighting to get into franchises themselves. What about you?
I mean, I kind of like Dickinson.
Yeah, a contemporary of his. Yeah, for sure.
And the other guy would be Holt. Nicholas
Holt. Yeah, I don't know if I see that. But okay, maybe.
I mean, he gets to play villain over in DC, and he'd get to play the hero over here.
Yeah, it's possible. Well, speaking of which, let's move on to that, man. Let's talk about it. This week, it was announced that Man of Tomorrow was announced. I want to make sure. I don't want to piss off James Gunn or any of you hardcore gun heads. It is Man of Tomorrow was announced here as this next Superman movie. But, Jeff, working on semantics, not a sequel. This has been fast-tracked for a 2027 release. When James Gunn was asked on Threads recently this week if he was done with the script, he says it's all of it. He's done writing all of it. It's just in the necessary and lengthy stage of rewriting some more. It's been a lot of fun. And then he claims that the script was written in a collaborative nature. And he says that he got a lot of input from other people, all sorts of people, very open to feedback always. As I say all the time on this show, if you just read James's comments in the Trump voice, you'll really get it. Oh, yeah, all sorts of people, fed bag. I'm very open to feedback always. But this is what's happening, Jeff. And now there's rumors about all these people coming in. Nexus Point News saying Lobo, Supergirl, Peacemaker being a part of this. Hawkgirl's coming back. Aaron Pierre commented. Even Grant Gustin from the Flash series commented. So what are your thoughts on all of this and what's going on here with DC and Gunn and this Man of Tomorrow film?
I mean, 2 years seems like a very quick turnaround time. It's really like less than 2 years. And again, he just had he had 60 pages of a treatment.
Yes.
Weeks ago. So anytime you can, rush a movie into production based on 60 pages of a treatment, you got to do it.
Although he claims to have written all of it.
It's done. He finished it in these last few weeks. He's a quick writer. I mean, it's Superman 2. I mean, I don't care what he says as far as like sequel, prequel. Okay, it's another Superman movie featuring the same characters. I'm sure there will be some new faces from Supergirl.
Yes.
What else am I supposed to say to this? Like, I'm curious why they didn't include Superman in the title.
Well, I think because they released the pictures, 3 different original pieces of artwork with Superman and Lex Luthor. And I think this is his way of playing semantics and playing with the audience. We're not going to call it Superman Man of Tomorrow so that you can't pin me down and claim that it's a sequel when I told you it wasn't necessarily a sequel. Man of Tomorrow could mean Lex Luthor. So you're playing that kind of nebulous game with the fans as well. Because who is the Man of Tomorrow?
Maybe Brainiac is the Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I was just going to say that because he is, he has this intelligence and all of this from the future. So there's a possibility that he could be the Man of Tomorrow and that Lex and Superman are getting together to fight him.
I don't know if that's too obvious a possibility, but that's certainly where the speculation currently lies.
Yeah.
I know there's only 7 people who actually know who the real Man of Tomorrow is.
Well, 8 now if you include Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell knows everything. again, for me, it was more like the release date that interested me. Like, you're going to put this out before Batman 2, so it's possible that, maybe you lay the groundwork for something leading into the Batman 2.
Right.
And do it on your terms. And just like all the 2027 releases, it makes me think like we're already hearing about Warner Brothers sales. We know how long that process can take because of Paramount and Skydance.
Yeah.
Like 2027, the year when Warner Brothers sells again. And maybe that's like the owner's first order of business is locking down James Gunn again, and Peter for another, run at DC. But yeah, 2027 just shaping up to be a monster year for Warner Brothers. They have another Lord of the Rings movie. They have a Batman movie and Superman movie for the first time ever in the same calendar year, right? Which they've tried to do a few times in the past. They've got another Godzilla Kong movie. They could have another Dune movie. Who knows?
Yeah. I just think, you look at this, like someone's asking this question, Racial Draft Podcast, would we have considered BVS to be Man of Steel 2? I did. I mean, I don't understand the issue here. Like, if you look at BVS, everything that's happened in BVS is happening because of everything that happened in Man of Steel. The whole reason the Batman has an issue with Clark in the movie is because of what happened in Man of Steel. So to tell me that that's not a sequel, then you're playing ridiculous semantics, in my opinion, with the whole situation. This is absolutely a Superman sequel. Just because Lex is the co-lead doesn't mean it's not a Superman sequel. Listen, Rachel Brosnahan was the co-fucking lead of Superman. It still was a Superman movie. Removing Superman from the title doesn't all of a sudden not make it a sequel. Come the fuck on, man.
I agree with you on this point, but I disagree that Batman vs. Superman was a Man of Steel sequel. I mean, it's a follow-up. Right, it continues the story, but no, Batman was not in Man of Steel, so that's a new character coming in, and I could see how that is not a sequel. But Nick Holt, if he is, a co-lead, he is a co-lead. He was a co-lead of Superman. That is a sequel.
Yes, that's right. Exactly, that is a sequel. Two characters coming back, and you're gonna
evolve all characters. It's not just
Right.
Come on, like we're playing semantics, which is James's favorite game.
Yeah. But this is also an approach that I wonder about because Jeff, he's writing a lot. I mean, I thought he was supposed to be running the studio, and now you've got another film that he's writing, and he's going to be directing it. He just wrote all of Peacemaker season 2. He is overseeing Supergirl, which is of course going to have very strong ties to his Superman saga situation, and the only thing that's out of the Superman James Gunn situation is kind of Clayface right now. Even Lanterns is going. If Aaron Pierre is commenting and James Gunn is commenting back to Aaron Pierre is going to end up in the Superman saga universe and will probably be in Man of Tomorrow. So this is a fascinating situation of a guy who's doing a lot of things here. And I know some people are excited about it, but I mean, I'm watching Peacemaker season 2, and I got to tell you, I'm a little underwhelmed because his writing is getting a little annoying. Some of his jokes are kind of reaching their sell-by date, and I'm not the only one that feels this way when you see some of the reactions to these Peacemaker episodes. So I'm wondering, do we really want him to keep writing if it's going to be a law of diminishing returns? This is kind of dangerous for DC right now, especially 2 years later. I mean, there was even an article today saying James Gunn is doing what Matt Reeves couldn't do with the Batman, and that is writing it with a 2-year window. And I was like, what? Now we're going to use this against Matt Reeves.
Whoever wrote that headline has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, right? I mean, it's not just like, I don't like this narrative that's been painted of Matt Reeves is just slow. He's always been slow. Like, that's not really what's happening here. Right. So what are we talking about again? Like,
just the idea that do you think it's dangerous that he's the one that keeps writing all of this stuff? Because it doesn't sound like he's stopping anytime soon. And are they riding this horse until its legs break? Like, is this the end of True Grit?
And that's what Hollywood does, is that they ride it till the wheels fall off, for sure. I'm surprised that him and Ana Aguirre are writing so much stuff for the DC. I thought, maybe it'd be spread around a bit more. But I understand if you want a cohesive vision, and you have a whole world inside your head, then you want to be the person writing it. That makes sense to me. I don't know what kind of it's not like he has to manage another slate of projects, like a regular studio head or executive, right? His whole focus is on this. So I'm not surprised that he has his fingers in all these pies. So does Kevin Feige.
Right, except Feige is not writing and directing. right? That's the difference in that comparison. To me, it concerns me that he's doing so much creative work when he was hired to.
No question. At some point, he'll be spread thin, just like Kevin was, and
Yeah.
it took years for them to even acknowledge and admit to those rumors, which they did admit to.
Right. Eventually,
100% they did.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's only so much one person can do, and I understand having to throw yourself into the job, and it's admirable, but you're right. It seems like he's taking on a lot.
Are you surprised that it's a 2-year turnaround? Do you think he was writing this as he was writing Superman
Absolutely. The second you wrap Superman, I think that you start writing the sequel, especially if you know what it is, and if you're confident that the first film is going to do well, because obviously you don't want to waste your time. I think what you said about Green Lantern probably makes some sense, that you could see him pop up in this. Obviously they're going to want to use him and use a star of Aaron Pierre's caliber, a rising star like that.
Because it seems like they're going to maybe soft launch the Justice League off of this movie. Like, you've got Superman in this movie, you're going to have Hawkgirl in this movie, you're going to have obviously Mr. Terrific. They're all going to come back. You're probably going to have the John Stewart Green Lantern, maybe not.
Wonder Woman.
Huh?
You might have Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman possibly in a cameo.
Absolutely be cast by next summer if that's when this is rumored to shoot.
Right, because Teen Titans is now being put on the back burner because Wonder Woman's going to come to the forefront. And then you've got Supergirl. So you've got yourself the makings of a Justice League, and possibly even if you get a Batman cameo in Clayface, does Batman show up in some way or teased in some way in that Man of Tomorrow situation? That's curious. And where's Maxwell Lord in all of this, who is in charge of the Justice Gang now? I believe a bigger role to play in Man of Tomorrow, aka Superman 2. So it's going to be interesting to see for sure. But yeah, I hear you about this. One last thing, like July 9th, 2027, the Batman Part 2, October of 2027. Yeah, is this, I mean, this can't be an accident. This feels
right.
Like,
yeah.
Right?
Again, two years is a lot, but I think this message, first of all, anything could change.
Yeah, true.
This is a message for shareholders more than it is for fanboys.
Yeah. Oh, good point. Good point. All right, fair point. Yeah. They could see that positive. And of course, WB is now all of a sudden on a win streak, Jeff, over these last few months. And judging from the early numbers for The Conjuring, that's going to be a nice chunk of change for them this weekend as well. So
WB loves to do this. They love to say, hey, we've got a hit. We've got something else coming. All right. Yeah. We've got weapons. Don't worry. There's a weapons prequel coming, because obviously a sequel wouldn't make a ton of sense. Yeah. There's Hangover. Again, we've already greenlit the Hangover 2, whatever it is.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on. Then let's move on to another story. This is kind of a fascinating story as well. And let us know what you thought about the Superman situation. And is this a sequel? Is this not a sequel? What do you want to see? What do you not want to see? Send in your Streamlabs and Superchats and let us know what you think about Man of Tomorrow. And is James Gunn playing semantics for shits and giggles? And does it irritate you, or do you not have an issue with it? Let us know. Let's move on to this really weird story, brother, man. Steven Spielberg apparently pitched a Call of Duty movie. We did hear earlier this week that Call of Duty is going to be turned into a movie over at Paramount, which of course is flying high with blockbusters like Top Gun Maverick. But this is according to Puck News, who I subscribed to today, because they have a massive discount going on right now if you guys want to try it out. None other than Steven Spielberg was trying to land the Call of Duty movie. Spielberg pitched what he wanted for the movie to Activision, but he also wanted full final cut and control over production of the film, which quote unquote spooked Activision, who bailed in and sold to Paramount, where they would have more control. Now you might ask yourself, Steven Spielberg, that makes no sense, but we just recently finished off doing Jaws on the Cinephiles, and one of the things we found out is that Steven Spielberg, while he was shooting Jaws to blow off steam, would go to the local arcade and play video games for hours after his shoot days. So he clearly has a strong interest in video games and played Call of Duty. So what are your thoughts on this, Jeff? This is a weird twosome to put together. And how much stock do you put in this story?
I mean, I'm sure it's 100% correct. Bellamy has good sources, and particularly Paramount, which, the new regime, I think, is going to be leaking a lot of stuff to Matt Bellamy. I think Spielberg would have been a cool director for this. I mean, it's not really what I want to see him direct. I could give a shit about Call of Duty. I've never played the game. But it makes sense why they wouldn't want to do that, because he just costs too much, right? He just wants too much creative control. He wants too much money, too big of a cut of the gross. Like, they're like, why? Like, it's going to gross, pretty much the same anyways. I don't really think Steven Spielberg's like, burning down the box office these days, all due respect.
Right.
So they're like, yeah, why wouldn't we just hang on to the control and hang on to a bigger slice of the pie rather than just hand it over to you?
Well, yeah, and yeah, I get that's the thing. And does this indicate, though, that like the idea of, I don't want to say, how about this? I'll say legends, the guys who've been around for a while now with Scorsese and Spielberg, Coppola and others, like, does it indicate, though, that they don't have the power for the newer stuff than they would have had in the past? Because I think like 10 years ago, if you have a Spielberg interested in adapting Call of Duty, you immediately take that and make that happen and figure out the details. But
you said it, though. That's 10 years ago.
Yes, I'm saying. So I feel like, does this indicate that these guys don't have the power like they did maybe in times past? And so,
I mean, 100%. It depends on the studio, of course.
Right.
In this case, it's Activision. That's who you're dealing with. You're not even dealing with the legacy studio. So there is no real, I mean, they can say that there's real respect, but at the end of the day, they're gaming guys, and they think that the gaming company knows best, not Spielberg.
That's true. And maybe they think also that the idea of Steven Spielberg doesn't make, like, it doesn't get younger people excited, who are the ones who are playing these games, the younger generations. The idea of Steven Spielberg, who's still kind of known for like crowd pleasing stuff, that he'd be the guy to jump into. Now, I know Saving Private Ryan, I know Schindler's List, those are pretty brutal films and hardcore films, but he's not really known for directing the great action stuff since like Jaws and Duel. It's been a very long time.
Not the first time Spielberg has been turned down. He also wanted to make a little movie called American Sniper.
Oh, right.
And they ended up going to Clint with that one. I think you can't really argue with the results.
Who do you think they go with for this Call of Duty? You never played it, but it is like a military game, first-person military game. You go with a bunch of people and carry out missions. So who do you anticipate? Who do you see out there?
I mean, I don't know Activision and its taste well enough, right? Like, is it going to be David Leitch?
Right.
Or is it going to be someone like Stefano Solima, who did 000 and has the Monster Florence show coming out on Netflix? Like,
right.
Is it going to be Fede Alvarez now that he's we'll get to that story?
Yeah.
Or will Paramount entrust it to someone like Damien Chazelle? Like, you could go 8 zillion different ways.
I mean, I thought their Halo adaptation wasn't good. Like, so to me, I would be concerned that Paramount is doing this. And so you'd want to have a director who's
regime. Literally a different regime.
What strong director do you, right? That's true. That's a good point. Well, what director who's going to take this on is not going to want Final Cut? Like, that's an interesting situation. What about the director of Sisu? What do you think about him?
I think he's a super talent, but I don't know if he'll get a gig like this. I don't know if Paramount will want to make a big show of it and say, all right, we're going to hire Joseph Kosinski.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's probably the route. Yeah.
Who knows? There's a zillion different ways to go.
That's true. All right, well, let's move on to the story you were hinting at. That's Fede Alvarez. Let's talk about it. Fede Alvarez, this came up today. A year ago, he brought the Alien franchise back to life with Alien Romulus, which earned $350 million globally. And if you're watching Alien Earth right now, that is a kick-ass show from Noah Hawley here. But Alvarez wrote, it was presumed that he was writing and directing the sequel, but now he has revealed to TwoFab that he just finished. He said, quote, "We just finished the script actually for a sequel for Romulus, but I'm going to pass the torch on this one as director. I'm going to produce it with Ridley Scott. We're going to produce it together. And we're right now trying to find a new filmmaker to come in." He penned the script to the sequel with Romulus co-writer Rodo Saiga. So kind of surprising, Jeff, that a director like Fede Alvarez's name and reputation, and that got this film so well received and revitalized Alien franchise, would walk away from the sequel. What do you think's going on here, man?
Do you think he walked away from the sequel?
No, that's why I'm asking you. I don't think he walked away from this damn thing. I think he was moved out because they maybe felt that he didn't quite direct that last one as strongly as they would have wanted. and they want to bring somebody else in. What do you think's going on? Tell us the truth.
I think Fede got fired.
Whoa.
Yeah. This whole like, oh, we're gonna pass the torch. It's like you've been talking about this for like the last year and a half. Like, what are you talking about? Pass the torch.
Wow.
I think the torch got passed over him. Listen, I think the end of that movie was an abomination.
The end of the movie. Oh, with the Slender Man thing. Yeah.
Terrible.
Okay.
I like Fede. I like his movies. I was mixed on Romulus. Like, obviously, it had some good stuff.
Right.
David Johnson was really good. But I think something like, I think Ridley is kind of bigfooting him, right? Like, I think that Fede really wanted Fassbender, right?
Oh, yeah.
To use Fassbender.
Right.
And I heard Ridley said no.
Wow.
Because I may want to come back to the series, and if so, I want to be the one who brings him back and uses him. So I think that was like when I'd heard that,
right.
Part of me thought, oh, this is like the beginning of the end. And so, obviously, who's going to win that clash? Ridley. So
do you think Ridley's going to come in and direct this thing?
Not necessarily. I mean, he could. But yeah, I just think that it was something, creative differences, if you will. And,
but isn't this a little like petty for Ridley to do this? Well, I know Ridley can be a little bit of a bitch, but I
don't know the full story. I'm just hearing, half of it weeks ago, and the other half is, this week. Right. And then you just put the halves together.
Well, that's what I'm asking you, because
maybe they love Alien Earth and they're like, shit, we should give the fucking movie to Noah Hawley. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Is this ego? Because
it's always ego.
Everybody was saying this film was the best thing that Alien's done since like Aliens, and that includes Ridley Scott's last two damn movies. Do you think that he got some professional ego bruised, and everyone's talking? He's like, fuck this. I'm not letting this young kid snatch my fire. I'm going to step in and take over and direct it, or pick the director I want to do it so he doesn't overshadow me. Because, yeah, I love the idea of Noah Hawley. I tweeted that out. Alien Earth is incredible. And him stepping up to theatrically direct the next installment would be fantastic. I'd be down with that. But if it's going to be him coming back, this is all about bruised fucking ego, and it's sad to see that. It's
I think I'm not going to argue with anything you just said, and I think if it's not money, right, which I don't think it is in this case, then it's ego. Those are the two things. You could have a huge multi-million-dollar deal and it doesn't close. Why? Because of somebody's ego.
Yeah. Oh God, I don't want him to come back. Those last two were an abomination, man.
I'm not saying he is coming back.
I know. I'm just thinking out loud about it, and nothing would excite me less than having him coming back to Alien after. Because I know, I agree that there were
Gladiator 3.
Yeah, right. After Gladiator 2, no thanks. What are you gonna do?
Stars?
He's gonna put Pacino in Gladiator 3. Oh, I'm just an emperor. No thanks, man. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
I can't really say I love Ridley's development slate, so I do think an Alien movie like coming out of nowhere is a distinct possibility.
Yeah. See, fuck. All right, I guess. No, I don't think a lot of people are going to be excited about that. I just don't. Fede, I think, spoke to the younger generations. Those are the people that got excited by this Alien Romulus, and now you're going to bring in the old fogey. He's not going to be able to get people excited about this shit again. Fuck. I hate that idea. If it's happening, right? Like you said, we're not sure it's happening. All right, let's move on to this story. Let's get into it, Jeff. Sydney Sweeney. Right now, as we're talking and recording this show, a lot of people are posting their reactions and reviews to her Christy film that is debuted here at TIFF. And they're saying she's great. The Wrap, I read their review. They didn't like the movie quite as much, but they liked her performance. Scott Mantz spoke glowingly in his tweet and his reaction to her performance and the movie. But she also said, she's also said in an interview with Vanity Fair, very defiantly, this Sydney Sweeney, I am there to support my movie and the people involved in making it, and I'm not there to talk about jeans. Oh, wow, really? The movie's about Christy, and that's what I'll be there to talk about. I hated this quote. I think it speaks of such arrogance, this quote, that you would be the face of a massive campaign that caused controversy, and you can tell people, I will not be asked about it. I will only talk about the art and the movie. And it's so pretentious. It drives me out of my mind. Jeff, your thoughts on it, because I'm sure you disagree with me. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's literally standard operating procedure. It's no different than every other celebrity who's like, don't ask me about this. Don't ask me about that. Don't ask Tom Cruise about this. Don't ask. I mean, come on. Every single person does that. So how are you going to hold it against her?
I will, because it's different. Like Tom Cruise, let's ask you about Scientology. I feel like it's a different situation, right? Because like this is something that is recent, and this is something that she made a massive deal about. She was involved in the creation and the curation of this campaign. It got controversy, and for her to say, I'm not going to answer any questions about it.
That's all people want to ask about, right? If you want to ask about the genes, I'm sure there was a time and a place to do that, but you didn't give a shit. You just thought it was another, right? Just like any other marketing activation email that I get, that your eyes glaze over.
It wasn't just another marketing thing. This
wasn't the start. This
was a massive deal because she was involved in it. They were playing with the genes thing, and it invoked a controversy with what it was alluding to. The fact that she can't be asked about it, I think, is a little cowardly, to be honest with you, a little childish, because you didn't mind putting your face on this campaign. Now all of a sudden you can't be asked about it.
It's not for, dude. Because it's not for her to answer to. It's for the gene company to. She just showed up and read some lines.
What? Are you nuts? She was part of the copy that was written. She designed genes specifically for the campaign, dude. What do you mean? She wasn't hired as like, what do you mean? She wasn't hired like, some random spokesperson.
Those could have been written for anybody. Those lines could have literally been written for anybody.
But they weren't. They were written for
Halle Berry has good genes. She's just a person who signed on to the campaign.
No, she isn't. What is wrong with you? She was not just hired.
Doesn't have to answer for shit, John.
That's nonsense. So you think people, you of all people, who likes to call people on the carpet, are going to say that she doesn't have to answer for shit? You're going to selectively say that.
She doesn't. This is an advertisement, dude. This is a fucking paycheck. Who gives a shit?
It wasn't a paycheck.
John, what fucking answers are you demanding right now?
I'm not demanding
what would the question be that you were going to fucking ask her?
I'm not demanding any answers. I'm just saying, to say that you can't be asked about it, I think is utter hubris and arrogance, in my opinion, because you didn't mind being the face of this 5 minutes ago. Now, all of a sudden, I can't bring it up.
She doesn't mind being the face of it now.
People are asking about Israel and Gaza. People are asking about Israel and Gaza at these press conferences.
You said it, John. She's the face of it, not the mouth of it.
She's the face and the mouth and the co-creator. That's the thing. If you research this, you'd know. She's the face and the mouth and the co-creator and designer of genes from this campaign. So I think she has a right to be asked these questions.
Any fucking answers. None of these people.
Again, I didn't say she owes me shit, but to say that you can't be asked about it, I think, is an arrogance that is unnecessary in this situation.
Saving people time. I mean, what? So they asked the question, then she says, "Oh, I don't talk about that. No comment."
That's fine. Then you log that. Then that's clear.
Why not just save time and say it at the beginning?
She cowardly doesn't want to be asked about it. That's fine. Listen, people yell questions at politicians all the time. They're not going to answer, but they do it to log in the fact that they're not answering these questions and evading responsibility for this stuff.
I think Sydney's politics have you blinded.
I don't know what Sydney's politics are. She claims she's never claimed to be one side or the other.
Registered Republican.
Yeah, but is that true? Is that a true thing? Because isn't that a violation of your rights that someone would reveal what you're registered as? I don't know.
Are violated every day. Yes, it's true. She's a registered Republican.
All right. Well, fair point. Going after Scooter Braun, Taylor Swift's enemy there. It's an interesting point. Interesting decisions that she's creating for herself. All right. Well, what about the reactions to her movie? Do you think this is going to be a good thing for her? People talk about her being nominated for an Oscar. Do you think that's possible?
I do think it's possible, but I think it's the year where anything's possible. It's the year we're talking about Dwayne Johnson for an Oscar.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a second. Yeah.
It'd be funny if we got a male and female boxing winning, Oscars. That would kind of be very fitting. I've heard she's great in the movie. I don't expect the movie to be like a fucking Best Picture winner or anything, but if it's good enough and she stands out in it, she could absolutely be nominated. It's just like, are we just going to hand a nomination to Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love? Does Julia Roberts just automatically get one after reviews for After the Hunt? So it's just like all it takes is one or two like locks, one or two sure thing contenders to come up a little bit short or falter. And if people like the movie, then I just wonder if her politics will get in the way, because I could certainly see that.
I don't know. I don't know if the politics will get in the way. Just because she's a registered Republican, it doesn't mean she's a hardcore Trump supporter or a MAGA supporter. I mean, I have my own personal beliefs when I look at her working with Bezos, working with the people who own American Eagle, who are hardcore MAGA.
Working with Bezos, dude, are you fucking kidding me right now? Everybody in the town works with Bezos.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that, considering what he's doing.
Oh, she works with Bezos. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's fair. But I just think the whole situation isn't the best situation. But I don't think necessarily the politics. I actually think if it's a good performance, I think people are going to look past it. I mean, how many
people look past fucking Amelia Perez and her Carla? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. She got nominated for it. She didn't win because she didn't deserve to win, but she got nominated for it. So that's the situation there.
I think some people did think that she deserved to win.
I don't know. I've never met one person who thinks she deserved to win, but okay. I'm sure there probably is. But it wasn't enough to have her win the thing. And I don't think even the politics, I don't think even with the politics, because the backlash on that film was growing even before the politics stuff came out and those tweets were discovered. People were ridiculing that film already before for a number of reasons, legitimate reasons, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Element is different from the performance, but okay.
Yeah, fair. But I don't know many great actors who are, and there have been quite a few who are Republicans. By the Clint Eastwood's a registered Republican for decades. There are quite a few great actors who still win awards and whatever, even though they're Republicans, right? You can go down the list. It never hurt Stallone. It never hurt Bruce Willis. They have money. They count money. Tim Allen keeps getting series. What are we talking about?
I would love to believe that you're right, and that it doesn't matter what political affiliation you are. I just think that it would create a speed bump where, most actors don't have that speed bump.
Yeah. Yeah, the only time I ever seen it affect anything is Eastwood's Richard Jewell. That was the real obvious where critics and reviewers had an issue with Eastwood because it had just happened, the convention or whatever. And I thought that was ridiculous because that film was good and people tried to create narratives about and mix his politics into those narratives, which was unfair, I thought.
If there's an issue, it's that it's like Black Bear, it's going to be self-releasing this movie, and they don't really have a long history of like awards campaigning, at least on their own.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I said another element to this, Jeff. Why do you think that is? They must have pitched A24 and Focus and all these places that would normally grab a film like this up. Why do you think they didn't? Or do you think they did? Or do you think they did? And sorry, do you think they didn't, or do you think they did and were rejected? What do you think?
It's a good question, because I really thought that they were going to take this movie to Toronto and see how it performed. And if it went over well with audiences, then they might get a big offer. And that could technically still happen.
Yeah.
Even though they've announced plans to self-release it. But yeah, part of me thinks that they also did shop it before the festival and gave people an opportunity to see it, and no one could match, the budget or, put in whatever Black Bear wanted for it. And they said, all right, we're just going to do it ourselves. And I do think that Black Bear was primed to do that because they've had these movies that have gone over well, like the Matthew McConaughey movie, The Rivals of Amzia King. And they just people aren't paying what they used to for indies. And so they're like, all right, well, we'll give you the vertical deal where we give you $1 for the movie. And then you get a huge cut of the VOD sales, which is effectively where it winds up after 1 week in release in theaters. It's just you have to pick the best of two bad situations, basically, unless you really want to risk it. And we've seen a lot of companies do this where they're entering the distribution space. That's a tough game to be into, but Black Bear's going to give it a shot.
And let me ask you this, swing back to what we talked. Do you think her politics, do you think the controversy around this campaign made her a bit of radioactive material they didn't want to go with?
No, I don't think that. I don't think studios still see Sydney Sweeney as a hot commodity. I don't think anybody was gonna buy Christy and then they backed away after this Gene controversy. I think you're making way too much of this Gene controversy.
I'm just putting it out.
It's just like it was just noise to like 99% of us. Like, who gives a shit?
It wasn't just noise.
It wasn't a dog whistle. People, this is a dog whistle. The dog whistles, I hear them.
Okay.
It was ridiculous. These people are pussies.
Which ones? The people of massive intelligence with multiple degrees who were able to
I have multiple degrees. I can't be wrong about anything.
No, I'm just saying don't call them pussies because I think there were some legitimate.
They got offended by a jeans commercial, John.
No, I think they accurately dissected the hidden meaning of what might have been going on.
Ooh.
Yeah, people are analysts. Jeff. You're an analyst.
Hidden meaning of the jeans ad.
Well, yeah, I know. What about the other side of this? Do you think maybe it's because it's about a female boxer who's maybe not that well known? Christy Martin's story. By the way, if you guys haven't seen that 30 for 30 documentary on her, it's phenomenal. Oh, no, wait, it's the Untold one on Netflix. It's a great documentary on her. Do you think maybe they were hesitant on that end, a female boxer who's not as well known now as she was back when she was in her prime? That could have affected whether they wanted to buy the film or not, is what I'm saying, or distribute the film.
That Christy Martin is not very well known.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that any female boxers are very well known, quite frankly. So
I would argue Layla Ali, maybe.
She's literally the only one I can name.
There you go. So at least she's the one that's well known. All right. So we'll see what happens with that. But let's move on to what you just talked about here, what you alluded to. The Rock got emotional, ladies and gentlemen. The Smashing Machine debuted at Venice, and this incredible independent film actor who has just wanted to show what he could do as an actor broke down in tears during a quote-unquote 15-minute standing ovation. And this, of course, came after his comments at the press conference for the film saying, a lot of times it's harder for us, at least for me sometimes, to know what you're capable of when you've been pigeonholed. You know, pigeonholed when he worked with Ari Emanuel to get these massive paydays for film since 2010, like Jungle Cruise, G.I. Joe, Rampage, Red Notice, San Andreas, Journey 2, Central Intelligence, 2 Jumanjis, multiple Fast and the Furiouses, and trying to strong-arm DC when he did Black Adam, and Moana live action that's coming out. Mr. Independent actor who was, stuck in the world of blockbusters has now really shown himself. As you can tell, I thought this was horseshit and asinine and yet another fictitious narrative from Dwayne Johnson, who I love.
Do you think there was a script like this publicist sat him down? It's like, Dwayne, you're going to get applause. Wait 2 minutes and then start crying.
Yes.
Right? Like,
I mean, I've seen The Rock act since WWE. I know what he's doing. It's a narrative. And this idea that he was pigeonholed. Jeff, what are we talking about?
The glasses thing is hilarious in that Bellany bit, by the way. They're like, we're going to put him in glasses. Like, why didn't we have Adam Sandler in glasses? Damn. Listen. I don't care how manufactured it is or whatever. Like, can we not give this guy fucking credit? We could be watching the trailer for Jumanji 3 right now, and I'm sure we will be one day.
Yeah.
Right? But he could have used that slot or whatever to say, all right, let's go do Jumanji 3, and that could be what we're all watching the trailer for instead of the Smashing Machine. Give this guy fucking credit, okay?
Okay.
I'm sick and tired of being the blockbuster guy who just makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
I want to go and actually act and challenge myself and work with an up-and-coming filmmaker and, put on weight and do the prosthetics and all this shit that everybody's busting. And now that he does it, we're supposed to say, Dwayne, you fucking asshole, this isn't authentic. Like,
No. I think pushing the bullshit narrative is what I'm upset about. I applaud Dwayne testing himself as an actor and wanting to try new things. I think that's as an artist myself, I think that's amazing. I think it takes guts. And so I have no problem with that. My issue is the bullshit narrative that he's pumping out, that he was pigeonholed into these blockbusters.
Pigeonholed himself.
Exactly. He held the key to his own jail cell. So don't give me that shit. And that's my problem. If he had just said,
he's not wrong. I mean, that's what studios wanted to see him in. They don't want you didn't see any studios lining up to make the Smashing Machine. It had to be A24.
They might have been if he wanted to make the Smashing Machine. That's the thing. He had the power to do these films all along. He had the power all along.
But that's not what these studios want from him.
Who gives a fuck what they want? You're The Rock. You could self-finance an independent film if you wanted to really do this. Yeah, when you made millions upon millions, hundreds of his net worth is $800 million, Jeff. You could have carved out $10 million to go and make a film. You can't tell me there aren't people who would have donated, not even his own money, donated to help him make his own film. That's what I think is the narrative is bullshit. Like, just say, look, my blockbusters weren't doing well. The audience wasn't responding to my stuff. So I think for me, I wanted to challenge myself at this critical time and see what I could do. That's much more honest. That's much more authentic. This nonsense that he was somehow forced into this jail cell of making hundreds of millions of dollars on these. Come on, it's nonsense.
I mean, you're not wrong. Like,
yes.
But what do you expect me to do? Like, do an article at Variety where the headline is "The Rock. I used to be a whore, but now I'm not as big a whore anymore."
No, well, I mean, yeah, maybe a little bit softer than that, but yeah. Just own it. I think men have lost the ability to own mistakes. We have made the idea of talking about mistakes as somehow a weakness. Fuck you. It takes more balls and a more bigger dick size to own mistakes than it does to be like ignoring that shit or pushing false narratives to cover up your mistakes.
Take more responsibility for his own career choices.
Yes.
Okay. Well, again, I just don't know, like, what if you're The Rock and you've turned in this transcendent performance in the Smashing Machine, why do you want to spend the press tour making apologies for all your bad movies?
That's fair, but don't push out a false narrative. You don't have to make any narrative, Jeff. I would argue
I don't think it is a false narrative. It's a half true narrative is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying
you're saying he pigeonholed himself, and I agree with you, but I also think that the town pigeonholed him, audiences have pigeonholed him, and like, how do you deny that? It's all to one thing. He
wanted this and manufactured it so that he can make money because he wanted to become a power player in Hollywood, and he still does. Don't let this indie detour fool you. The Rock still wants to eventually be the head of a studio. That's absolutely his goal here. Like, the DC move was his first attempt to possibly be in control of something like that. His tastes are not for the independent and the small sizzler steakhouse, okay? His tastes are for the most expensive steak at the best restaurant in the world, and he deserves it. It's just this idea that I think he just needs to be a little more truthful with these narratives. That was my only issue. Okay, that being said,
he's been eating more Ozempic than he has.
What is going on with that, Jeff? Like, I don't know if you want to talk about it.
It's all these people. I mean, it's Ozempic.
Everybody.
It's Ozempic.
Yes, it's out of control. How skinny everyone is now in Hollywood because of this Ozempic nonsense. It's driving me nuts. The same people who with one side of their mouth say, I'm so tired of body shaming. I'm so tired of Hollywood putting us into these unrealistic body shapes we need, and then doing it by putting Ozempic or taking Ozempic and then losing that weight. Like, what side do you really stand on if you're going to be party with pushing the false expectations of a body?
Everybody's in competition with one another. Everybody's trying to get that little edge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the funny thing when you're like, well, this is The Rock. Like, you know, he could do anything. Well, The Rock is clearly feeling societal pressure to slim down, or that being thin is good for his narrative, his body transformation. Like, we couldn't take him seriously if he was bulked up like before. You know, that's the thing. This town is full of people who have the freedom, the means, the finances to do whatever they want, say whatever they want, think whatever they want, but they don't. They all get in line.
Yep.
And follow the hive mind in Hollywood, which goes to show you how fucked up this town is.
That's why I love being away from it now. I love being away from it. I love being away from all that pressure and all that nonsense, because you're more clear-eyed when you don't live in that town and you see what's going on outside the town, and you're just like, what is wrong with you all? Like, get off of this cycle. Like, what are you doing to yourselves to compete in this way? And then have the sanctimony to call out these other things and say, we have to live with unrealistic body expectations. You're part of the problem because you don't take a stand against it other than verbally doing it because it's cool in an interview to be somehow standing up for something. It's falseness, man.
I'd rather see The Rock taking Ozempic than, you know, injecting himself with steroids.
Agreed. But although we don't know what the side effects down the road,
either one are really.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I worry about. Because listen, as much as I may complain about The Rock, I love that man. And where I come from, my anger is he is capable of better. And so for me, I get frustrated when
he's trying to do better, and you're not giving him credit for making the effort.
I'm giving him credit for the effort. I'm not going to give him credit for being inauthentic in the approach with his narrative. But your point is taken. What do you think about? Well, let's move on. So let it go. Let's move on. What do you think though about the reaction to his performance? Has been overall really positive from some of the big trainers here, Jeff.
I knew he had this in him, just like I knew Sydney Sweeney had this in her. Like he has this magnetism, right?
Yeah.
This presence that is rare in movie stars. It was just about getting the right role to the right vehicle to bring out that energy and to bring out the softness and just to show what he's capable of.
Hey, Kenyon Noble, if this is so fucking weird, stop watching the show and go fuck yourself. Like, honestly, get off the show. If you have such an issue with this, get off the show and stop watching. We don't need you. No one's putting a gun to your head to watch the show, pal. In fact, you're taking the slot of someone who wants to watch the show. So get out of the way. Get out of here. Don't come back. Sorry, keep going.
That's it. Yeah, I've heard it's a great performance. Again, I can't judge anything anybody says anymore because I've seen some reviews come out of festivals that are just like, what? Like, are you serious? Do we see the same thing? So I can't trust anything except for my own two eyes, and critics are the worst. The end.
Fair point. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's great. I've known he's had this within him since Snitch, that one he did with John Bernthal, and so I'm excited that people are liking it. And I'm looking forward to Christy. No matter what my issues are with Sydney saying she can't answer those questions, I'm looking forward to Christy because I like that story and I like Christy Martin. And I want to see how she does with it. So I'm always open to that kind of stuff. Separating the arts from the
Bernthal thing off the air.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right. Let's move on from this stuff. Anything else coming out of the festivals that you want to make sure we highlight? I mean, After the Hunt didn't get the best response, although Julia's getting credit for her role. Anything else out of the festivals?
Yeah, I mean that's another movie. It's like I don't trust the reviews. Like who can? Like people were like, oh, this movie's fucked now. I got bad reviews. Oh well. What critics vote again for the Oscars? Oh, no. Okay. So what would it matter? Why does it have any impact? The critics said one thing, and so everyone's going to think like them. Well, if everybody thought like them, I don't know. Then everybody should be a critic. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's true. That's a fair point.
Let's wait for people to see these fucking movies before some asshole goes to Venice and says, game over. Right? Right. If you're me, you can be that asshole. If you're someone, but it's really just like random people who started a fucking movie site that says awards bottle, or whatever the fuck it is. And they're considered like fucking experts. This is why Bellany railed about Rotten Tomatoes last night, because it just the bar is gone. There's no more bar anymore. They just let every fucking asshole put up a fucking thing so it's a percentage point. It's so stupid. Come on.
Yeah, you want to talk about it? You want to move on to that? What are your thoughts on that story, Jeff? Rotten Tomatoes, according to the Puck.
That's what my fucking thing is. Welcome to the party, pal. Matt Bellany, like, where's this story been? Why wasn't this story assigned 7 years ago when you were running the Hollywood Reporter and this was happening right under everybody's nose? It's crazy what's happened to Rotten Tomatoes. It's a completely illegitimate site. It's a fucking scam. It's completely manipulated by everybody, just like streaming things. Last night I was watching the football game, and when I came back from getting food, you know what's playing? The Paper. Of course it is. Like it plays automatically.
Yeah,
so
they want
an asshole who's watching the football game is now suddenly watching the Paper, and watch, we're gonna have record ratings for the Paper announcement from fucking Peacock any minute. Like this is all bullshit.
Yeah, that's for those of you who don't know, Matt Bellany did a pretty exhaustive deep dive into the idea of Rotten Tomatoes and how the numbers have been inflated for certain films over the years and how that is affecting the authenticity of it, because people is it really are the scores accurate? And so I think there's
Superman thing. It was like Superman 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Right.
Asterisk based on 12 reviews.
12 reviews.
Like, what are we doing here? That's like one row of people in the movie theater.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. It's a fascinating read for you guys who want it. But yeah, it's no surprise, man, because that's the studio. But this is the studios. Just so we're clear, right? Everyone,
it's the studios, but it's the critics. The critics play into it. Yes,
because they want
literally every single person who mattered stood up and said, "You know what? I'm not submitting to Rotten Tomatoes anymore. We're out of this game." They need to, because they need the traffic, or I don't know what they fucking need. It's like some big validation for them to be some tomato approved critic. Guess what? It's a club I would never want to be a part of anymore, because jackass Sally in her basement, who's 12 years old, is fucking part of it now too. It's nuts.
That's fair. But a lot of critics don't stand up for it because a lot of the critics who are being hired at these papers now, or at these sites now, like the stroke of being able to go to these festivals, being able to go and see these screenings and talk to these people and do whatever. So I do, as we said a few weeks ago, man, the idea of the critic is being slowly eroded away as more and more people get into this business to stroke their egos and to live out their childhood fantasies of talking to their favorite actors or directors rather than actually dissecting the films. Somebody, was it recently? I don't know if you saw that this week, Jeff. I wish I could remember, but somebody had a whole breakdown. I think maybe it's in the Atlantic or somewhere where they said, are critics being too nice? And I think that was an incredible breakdown of the truth. The critics are being too nice.
I think the Times.
Yeah. They broke that down. Yeah.
Of course, the answer to that, again, these are all things that I've been saying for years.
True.
Maybe not saying them in the nicest of ways, but now the mainstream media finally feels empowered to say something. Yes, critics are too nice. Okay, the job of the critic is not to stroke the fucking ego of the fan. Okay, it's to look out for
the creative
publicists or the talent, which is what they're all doing because they're all playing the same game of access journalism. Okay, like there are, again, people who agree to interviews before they've seen the movie.
Yes,
it doesn't matter how they feel about the movie. They're locked in for the interview the next day.
Yeah.
So, like, of course, they're going to like it more because they're getting the access to the talent. I don't do interviews unless I like something. I have to come to you. I'm done accepting pitches for interviews.
Right. Yeah. It was in the New Yorker is where this article was from, and David Remnick wrote it and breaking down the idea of our critics being too nice. And I agree. I think they are. I look for, and I know sometimes you don't think I read these. I do look for dissenting opinions on movies that I like, because like Bibiani and I rarely agree on films. And I love the fact that I can read Bibiani's column or article or review and be like, you know what? I don't agree with him, but he's laying out a really good review and I see his points and I appreciate that,
Right. And Faraci and McWeeny, who are critics, do the same thing too, where I don't always agree with them, but they say it so eloquently where it's like, oh, okay, I can see it now. I can see it before when everyone's just like, it's fun. I
am rethinking things. I am rethinking things myself personally because, I just am rethinking.
People play into these systems at the behest of publicists. I mean, everybody's just getting gamed by the system and they're totally open to it. Like, they're like, you use me. And I listen, I'm no better. Right? Like, as a reporter, I'd love to be used, right? I'm sitting here waiting for agents and managers to call and just use me as their mouthpiece or executives. Right. But I don't know, man. Like, I have some conscience or something to me where these people, they'll shill for anything and anybody.
You and I know people who we work with, people who we know who are more invested in the access than the authenticity. And that is, now sometimes it's because, and we know this to be true, sometimes critics in the past have death threats, which is really kind of crazy over a fucking movie, fake characters, fake situations, a fake thing, but people have that kind of thing. But you and I both know people who trade in access for authenticity because they love that ego stroke. And I get it. You make money, you make six figures, but how you look yourself in the mirror,
honesty is the one thing this town doesn't need.
Yeah. Well, it needs, but doesn't have.
Right. It needs it, but it won't pay for honesty.
It won't pay for honesty. Not at all.
Yes.
And I think the studios are the ones who've really been the creators of the critics versus fans, because they were mad that the critics had so much power in affecting fans going to see movies. And I think studios, by investing in the Rotten Tomatoes thing, by going forward and creating these narratives, giving this information, then you have these articles, and now fans are like, yeah, I can be a critic too. And then they get involved in it, and you have Letterboxd and all of this stuff. And so the idea of the critic having any effect on the films anymore gets completely swamped and drowned out. And that's the studios, because the studios want you to go see their less than great product.
What a worthless site Letterboxd is. Like, are you kidding? Like, how did this site come out of nowhere to get the spot that it has?
Yeah.
You could be anybody on that site. You don't think that the film's publicists have accounts?
Yeah.
I mean, again, if you don't know the person's name and face, you don't know who the fuck they are.
Right.
Like I was just even not even like reviews, but like scoops. Like,
yeah,
I read some scoop yesterday by Matthew W. Well, who the fuck are you, Matthew W? Like, why do I care what you have to say or believe you? Like, I don't even know who you are.
Razor Drive says, when did critics have the most power? Probably the 70s with Pauline Kael, and then into the 80s with Siskel. I mean, Siskel and Ebert could sink a movie back in the 80s. Like, they legitimately could sink a movie. It doesn't mean they sank every film they didn't like, but they could legitimately sink a movie. I think everything started to change in the 90s, late 90s, and then into the 2000s. And then now, of course, now it's all muddled. It's all muddled up, you know? You have Ben Mankiewicz sitting next to someone with 1,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel, and it's equated the same on Rotten Tomatoes.
So, yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah. All right. Well, shit. We are already past the hour mark, so let's finish off with a couple of things. Any trailers you saw this week that you really liked, Jeff? We had a Wuthering Heights trailer from Emerald Fennell. We had the Bone Temple trailer from Nia DaCosta. We also had a new Task trailer, which you and I have both seen, is out this Sunday. I think we can talk about it. A House of Guinness trailer, Chad Powers trailer, Marvel Zombies trailer. Anything you want to talk about, any of these trailers stand out to you, and anything else you saw trailer-wise that you want to make sure we highlight?
Yeah, Monster Season 3.
Oh, yes, the Ed Gein one, yes.
Holy fuck, dude.
That looked good.
That's going to be great.
Yeah.
Supposedly, I was told today they're not doing, or actually, I don't know if I can say that. Well,
good catch.
I don't know if we'll see reviews for that. Like, I don't know if there were reviews for Monsters, the Menendez one.
Oh yeah, I don't remember there being reviews.
I think it's the so I think I can say it. Yes, I think it's the same situation where they're not making the episodes available beforehand.
Wow. Okay.
Now, listen, there may be a couple of places that get access that I don't, and I'm just being told that nobody's getting the access.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is what happened with the Menendez one. But that looks great. I actually, I've been curious about this one for a while because I like the director a lot.
Yeah.
Shell.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Max Minghela's new movie.
Yes.
It stars Elizabeth Moss and
Kate Hudson.
And right.
Yeah.
And that looked interesting to me.
Okay.
Right. That's like, I guess Paramount's Republic Pictures picked it up. They're the ones who put out like September 5 last year.
Yeah.
Wuthering Heights looked like a movie men aren't going to see.
I liked it. So as a man, I can tell you, I'm into this.
I love it. How many you see 150 movies a year, right?
Fair point.
Yeah. So the average guy who's seeing 2 movies a year, if that, in the theater, I don't think is going to show up to Wuthering Heights.
I agree with you. But I like the artistic approach she's taking. I get it. Some people who are upset about Jacob Elordi being cast instead of someone of color, as it is in the novel, totally understand that. But I like Emerald's I like her as a director. I think she's groundbreaking. I think she's interesting. She's challenging. And so I know some people hate that kind of stuff. And I saw the anti-woke dudes getting all upset about it. But I thought I did see some women get upset about it too, claiming there's going to be some kind of sexual assault or whatever. But I don't know. I thought it was a good trailer. And I like the John Candy trailer, bro. It
looks stunning, Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, it does. Right.
She's 1 for 2 in my book. I didn't really care for Saltburn. It was like, entertaining watch or whatever, but I didn't really think it was like a good movie at the end of the day. What's interesting to me though is like the whole quotation marks around Wuthering Heights.
Yeah.
There'll be some sort of third act twist and then, change the narrative a little bit.
What about the Bone trailer?
What was the one you just said?
The John Candy trailer, which was great.
That looks great.
Yeah. Oh, I was in pieces by that.
I want to watch John Candy movies this weekend. That's what it made me want to do this weekend.
Yep.
Love that guy. Bone Temple, again, fool me once. I thought that was a really good teaser. I thought it looked pretty fucking cool, but the first one looked pretty fucking cool, and I was pretty disappointed. I have not heard the best things about the Bone Temple. Jordan Rumi has heard otherwise. He said the test screening scores were really good.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. Jordan's test screening sources haven't been the greatest lately. They've been a little off. You could argue that mine have as well.
The Hamnet stuff he wrote about was an interesting read as well when you're looking at like potential.
I think they'll prove to be accurate. Like I'm sure Hamnet is a good film and Jesse Buckley's great, but I think it's going to be a pretty tough watch. And I think Scott Feinberg is probably right to question, just like people just tripping all over themselves to praise it. But Bone Temple can't argue with Sony's marketing department. They cut a good trailer.
Yeah, Black Phone 2. Did you see the new one, or are you already saw? Okay,
I don't care about Black Phone 2.
Okay. It's Chad Powers. Did you see that one? Did you think of anything of that one? No.
Yeah, I think that looks like a fun show. I'm looking forward to that. And if you read the newsletter closely last night or whatever, Chad Powers 2 already in the works.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, again, if you're Glenn Powell, are you really seriously thinking about canceling the show?
Yeah. No. Right.
Like who gives a shit what the fucking viewership even is at this point? Like, it's going to be good enough where. Of course, you're going to bring him back if you can. You want him on Hulu. He's a huge movie star. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hit some quick reviews. I saw The Long Walk 2 nights ago. I think we can talk about it, can't we? I think
people are mad about the whitewashing and Wuthering Heights. Like, Wuthering Heights. Isn't this the book we all pretended to read in high school but didn't?
That's more Jane Austen. I think it's Jane Austen. Wuthering Heights. He is darker. He is dark skinned in the book, but what
I am aware. I just don't care.
Fair point. Yeah. So what about did you saw The Long Walk? I saw The Long Walk the other day. Are we allowed to talk about it? I think the reviews.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Okay. I liked it. I thought it was good. I really did. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Having read the book when I was a teenager, or the novella when I was a teenager, the Bachman books, I thought the changes they made worked. My only issue is the Mark Hamill stuff. I think if that had been Gene Hackman or someone of that kind of stature, I think that role would have had much more weight than it does. But I thought Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson were fantastic, and all the other younger actors were good in the film overall.
I also liked the cast overall. I thought David Johnson was definitely the better one of the two. I think something about Cooper Hoffman where like we want him to be his father or something, and he's not. And every time he talked about his father in this movie, I felt like they're like being like he's talking about Phil.
Oh yeah.
I thought the movie was okay.
Okay.
It was a little, and THR's review, I think it's THR's review that landed today, hinted at this. It's a little tedious.
Yeah, you get to that point where it's like
people walking down a road. That's the movie. And every now and then, every 10 minutes, one of them stops and says, fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore. Right. And they get shot in the head. And then that's it. I just would have mixed it up more. Like, okay, can we have these kids crossing a bridge and one of them decides to jump off the bridge?
Ooh, maybe. Oh, we lost Jeff. Jeff, are you still there? Or did I lose myself? Did we lose Jeff, guys? Can you see Jeff? Let me know in the chat. I think the other side of it that Jeff is alluding to, which I think is correct, is there might have been a way to break up the monotony of walking, because they walk for a few hundred miles in the movie. And so what you want to see is maybe some flashbacks of the characters. You do get some flashbacks for Cooper Hoffman's character, but it would have been nice to see some backstory, some flashbacks with the other characters in the movie to maybe balance out the time we get them on the walk. Here comes Jeff. He's back. Yo, what happened there?
I don't know, but John, can we have these people doing something other than walking? Can we have them like going by a highway and one of them throws themselves into traffic? It was the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah. What I was just saying before you came back was it might have benefited, and I agree. I do agree with that. About the hour and 30 mark, or hour and 20 mark, I was like, this, when are we? So I think what could have happened, though, is that they could have had more backstory flashbacks with the other kids. And that would have broken up the monotony of walking for an hour and 50 minutes, hundreds of miles in the movie. More with David Johnson. Like, we don't know too much about David Johnson other than what he tells us in the movie. What would we like to have seen? The other younger actors who get highlights, the Four Musketeers, let's go and see what their stories are like that led them to this point. And it would have given us a better idea of what was going on in that world and the drama that they're all going through in this new post-authoritarian world, you know?
Yeah, I thought the score did a lot of heavy lifting. I liked the ending. Like,
Yeah.
The ending did get some emotion going.
There's a switch from the book.
Yeah, like the movie is both predictable and a little unpredictable. Like it kept me on my toes. I won't say more than that.
Okay.
But yeah, at the end of it, it's a dark, bleak movie that I don't really think it was a lot of fun. I wanted Hamill to be a little bit more hands-on.
Yes, agreed. A little more of a presence.
CHR praised him for sort of underplaying it, and I think I wanted something more of like a caricature and more of a cartoon.
Yeah, I don't think he was underplaying. I think that's the limit of what you get with Mark Hamill. I mean, listen, he's a great Joker. I'm never going to deny that. But on camera, Mark is beyond the Star Wars. Mark hasn't really been the most magnetic actor necessarily, delivering the most layered, complex performances. So. What about Task that comes out this weekend on HBO? You and I have seen the series. What can we say, man?
Highly recommend it. I mean, I'd give it a B+. I don't think it's an A grade series. I think it falls a little short of that. I preferred Mayor of Easttown, and I think that this show is a little anticlimactic.
Okay.
Peaks an episode too early and maybe should have been an episode shorter. But performances are, with the exception of Alison Oliver, who I couldn't stand. I found her character really annoying. The performances are all exceptional. Ruffalo, Pelfrey, and especially Amelia Jones. I thought she was fantastic and basically unrecognizable.
Oh, yeah. Alison Oliver's the other. Right. It's the Irish actress who plays the cop. Or the other. Yeah.
She's the
I like the guy from House of the Dragon. I thought he was surprisingly good. Fabian Frankel. I thought he was really good in the role. I thought Ruffalo was fantastic. Yeah, I agree with you on Amelia Jones. I thought she was great as well. Pelfrey was stellar. Everybody involved with that gang was great, including his mentor, the older guy, who I've seen in a million things. He was great. But I tell you who stood out to me that I fucking love when they finally played a hand, Martha Plimpton. I loved seeing Martha get in on things when it finally happened. So that was another part of this that I thoroughly enjoyed. So yeah, I think I'm a little bit higher on it than Jeff, but it's certainly a damn good one for you guys to watch this weekend. So highly recommend you all watching it. All right. Anything else you want to review before we jump into these questions, Jeff? Or anything you want to talk about? Can you hear me? Hello?
You're cutting in and out on my phone. Okay. I'm trying to get back on the laptop, but it died.
Okay. Are you up for questions is what I'm saying. Are you good for questions now?
You're too choppy. Should I leave and come back in?
Yeah, maybe try that. Leave and come back in.
Wait, there you are. There you are.
Okay. Are you good for questions is what I'm asking. You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just waiting for the computer to boot back up.
Vincent Spurs and hey, John and Jeff, big fan of the show. Thank you, Vincent. Recent comments from JG claim Peacemaker Season 2 sets up Man of Tomorrow. What if Man of Tomorrow takes place in Season 2's alternate dimension? Would explain it not being a direct sequel. I mean, I guess.
Listen, this is why I hate, for the most part, just like in general, obviously there are exceptions to this rule. I hate comic book movies. Like, give me a fucking break with this shit. And the idea that I have to watch Peacemaker to understand what the fuck is going on is a complete joke.
Which is what he said he wasn't going to do, right? He said, we're not going to create a thing where you have to watch everything and blah, blah, blah. Like, he said that, and here we are.
He says a lot of things. He says too much, or to the point where I don't think he really remembers what he says.
That's a possibility as well.
But yeah, I don't think that this is true. I think that nerds are overthinking this.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be an alternate, because if it has alternate dimension, it loses its power in the main dimension. It doesn't make sense. David Newman, you are my 30K run listen every week in the UK, so I never see you guys live, but I wanted to show some love. What song would you use to make an unskippable intro like Peacemaker? Oh, Jeff.
3, 2, 1, contact. It's the secret. It's the moment. When everything happens, contact. It's the secret.
Well, I've always been partial to AC/DC's Back in Black, so I would throw that in the mix. But I also think Jay-Z's public service announcement, that would be an awesome, unskippable intro to any TV show or film, for God's sake.
Dude, that Peacemaker intro is unwatchable.
I agree. It's terrible this season. Terrible. Yeah. As I said, the season to me has been underwhelming so far. 3 episodes, underwhelming. Lemmy Ward says, yo, why didn't Warner Brothers headhunt James Wan to head up DC Studios? James Wan clearly has a stronger record for success in building franchises and having billion-dollar films than James Gunn. I would love your thoughts.
He was busy and wasn't looking to be a studio head.
Yeah, I think that's probably the answer.
He doesn't even, probably doesn't have that hubris.
Yeah, and what you don't like, James is stuck in DC. I think James Wan, there's directors who like the freedom, where James now stuck in DC. He's got to do DC stuff. He can't go off and do an independent film by himself or some other studio. He's stuck here. So maybe James didn't want that. Shelf presence, Nick Holt playing Tom Riddle in the Potter series. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, sure. Playing the guy who becomes Voldemort. Sure.
No.
Jeff doesn't like it. All right.
No.
Seward Dave says, who are the Tom Sizemores of 2025? The Gary Buseys, the Mickey Rourke types, the unhinged, unpredictable performances. I don't think they exist anymore, Jeff. Do you think there are actors like this out there?
Bernthal.
Yeah, but John is older. Right? I guess, yeah, Bernthal. I guess you're right.
Jamie just said Bernthal. I'll tell you who else. A guy who should be working more, but he's his own worst enemy. Mr. Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, yeah, LaBeouf. For sure. Yeah, that's a great selection, man. Yep. Dennis Hoffman says, Jeff, I know this is lame, but Hemsworth G.I. Joe / Transformer movie happening? Yes or no?
It is lame, Dennis. You know it. I know it. Why are you asking about it? This is what you care about? The G.I. Joe Transformers movie? This is what interests you? Come on. I doubt that it'll happen.
Yeah.
I think that was an idea, a desperation idea from the last regime. I think that Paramount just bought Call of Duty. Like, what are you fucking around with G.I. Joe for if you have Call of Duty?
I mean, that's the call to Hemsworth. Come be in Call of Duty.
Maybe.
After Extraction. Dennis Hoffman says,
I'll tell you who should be in Call of Duty.
Go ahead.
He just signed on to play a Navy SEAL this week.
Alan Richardson.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, motherfucker.
Him and Stallone working on a project. There's too much testosterone just with those two guys. Who the fuck else is going to be on? You throw in Jason Statham and forget it. It's all over. Dennis Hoffman says, New Statter Weber rewriting Dynamic Duo. I'll watch anything these two write since the Spectacular Now all-time classic. I've never seen that one.
Oh, you should. Spec Now is really good. I really like New Statter and Weber. I think they're really good writers. I don't recall. I didn't even know that they were doing Dynamic Duo. Good for them.
Yeah. John Lawless, fan of the show, guys. Can't wait for 28 years later, the Bone Temple. It's looking a lot darker than the previous one. Yeah, I liked the trailer, but Jeff's correct. Like, I also like
darker than boiling a young boy's mother, killing a young boy's mother, and then handing him the boiled head.
The skull. Here you go. Put it on top of the temple.
All right, I'm going to sign off from here and go back in on the.
Okay. Sounds good, man. All right, we'll switch him off. Oh, solo shot. Hello. Let's move on to this one, and then I'll read it for Jeff again. Hey, guys, saw the trailer for John Candy. I Like Me. Okay. There he is. Smithy's coming in and said, hey, guys, saw the trailer for John Candy. I Like Me, and it looks like a must-watch. What are your favorite John Candy movies? I loved The Great Outdoors as a kid, but didn't love it so much on a recent rewatch. Barf is good. Yeah.
Great Outdoors was definitely one of my favorites. Obviously, Home Alone. I was 10 years old when John Candy died. I think I spent literally my entire year 8, watching Home Alone just on repeat. And then Uncle Buck was my favorite. And that's the one I really want to rewatch this weekend.
Uncle Buck, I agree with Jeff. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is one of my, because I was a teenager when Candy was hitting his apex. I love him in that. I think Who's Harry Crumb is one of his fun films. And Only the Lonely, I think, is an unrecognized, really great film with him and Ali Sheedy and Maureen O'Hara that people don't talk about enough. And he's really good and tender and fantastic in that film as well. And his cameo in JFK. He is fantastic in his cameo in JFK. So we lost a true talent when he passed on at such a young age.
Ooh,
Drew
I just got an update on the Barney movie, but I'm going to save that for the newsletter.
Okay. Drew Salazar says, keep up the great work. Look forward to y'all's show every week. Thank you, Drew. Very kind of you. John Darius says, hey guys, happy Friday. What are the chances of Brandon Sklenar being cast as Batman? And now that we have the semi-Superman sequel announced, when do you possibly think we'll get Wonder Woman or Batman casting for the DCU? Dude, I think by the end of the year. What about you, Jeff?
I don't know. I think it'll take longer.
Really?
It'll take longer. Wonder Woman, at least. I don't know. I don't even know. Is there Batman casting for the DCU?
All right. Is it Pattinson?
Yeah. What are the chances of Brandon Sklenar being cast as Batman? About as good as my fucking chances. Can you see it? I'm Batman.
Totally.
I'm Batman.
All right. Cody Hunt says, I think Tom Pelphrey should be a star. His turn in Ozark was magnetic. He needs more roles. I feel like he's having the same career as Taylor Kitsch. Oh, no. I think people are talking more highly about him than they ever did to Taylor Kitsch. But I don't know if many people see him making the leap. What about you, Jeff? I mean, I thought he was great in Task, but what about you?
Yeah, I think he is a better actor than Taylor Kitsch. He's also a decade older. At least.
True.
So like he's like a later. I mean, he spent a long time in soaps.
Yeah.
I don't know where Pelphrey goes from here, but I think I'd like to see him play a comic book movie villain. I think he'd be great in like a Marvel series as a villain.
Yeah, possibly. Bulldog 31087 says, I agree. She's open to all questions. I read the quote. She wasn't there to talk about Gene. She was there to talk about Christy. I didn't see where she literally said no one can ask. Well, she's saying she's not going to answer any questions about it. So, that's the thing. She's trying to discourage people from asking, basically.
Well, if these were journalists, right, they'd ask anyways. Who gives a shit? They'd have balls.
I agree.
So it's really less about her making the request than about whether they're going to follow it.
Yeah. Sarah Toki says, hi, John. With so many talented young actors, why every time you talk about casting, you always bring up Jacob Elordi? What role of his has impressed you? I thought him as Elvis was incredible. In Priscilla. I thought him as Elvis in Priscilla was fantastic. So I liked.
He's great in Euphoria.
Yeah, I never watched that show.
People pointing out Tom Pelphrey was in Iron Fist, which I did forget and would have known if I watched 4 seconds of Iron Fist.
Don't worry, most people don't remember that series at all. I mean, I'm sorry I bring up the same guy. I can work harder on bringing up other people. So I apologize to you profusely. I will work harder at that.
Drop some deeper cuts, Johnny.
I apologize, y'all. Let's see. Datboy22, thank you, Datboy, for the super stick. Appreciate it. Dennis Hoffman's back says, I get Gunn says too much and back talks things, but I admire this guy. Like, he's almost 16. He's basically throwing himself in creatively. Safran has to be deep in the weeds outside of Superman. Jeff.
I mean, yeah, I assume Safran's sort of keeping the trains running, and while James is focused on Superman, I don't think Sergeant Rock is ever going to happen. I don't think that's going next summer. That seems extremely unlikely to me. And yeah, hey, I admire James Gunn too. I think that he has an addiction to social media that maybe loses him some goodwill from fans, just as it may earn goodwill from him from others.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. But I hand it to the guy. Like, he makes decent movies, and he's making decent decisions so far. So I'm not going to knock it.
They make money. Plus, he's got a beautiful wife who's a fantastic actress in the Peacemaker series. So Miguel Zion says, y'all think Gunn hired a writer to write his treatment into a script? Hope he does, so he can focus on the filmmaking side. Any news on the Batman writer? What? On Batman writer? Do you mean Brave and Bold? Because Matt Reeves has written the script on the Batman too, so I don't know what he's asking about.
Yeah, I think that is what Miguel is asking about, and no, I haven't heard anything.
That is never going to. Oh, wait, all right, it might happen, I guess, but I feel like it's never going to happen. As for him hiring a writer, maybe, but it'll still say written by James Gunn. It'll still say written by James Gunn. I am Two Fly Cam. Pat's prediction, Commander's prediction, W's or L's? Well, I think we'll beat the Giants. I don't know. Patriots, who do you guys have this weekend?
We don't have Christian Gonzalez. I know that. I think we're playing the Raiders. I actually do think that we're going to win.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. Doug Developer says, I have 2 close Oscar races this week. Please pick Emma Stone for Poor Things or Lily Gladstone for Killer of the Flower Moon. I would still go with Emma Stone. Jeff?
Lily Gladstone.
Really? Okay. And Hillary Swank, Boys Don't Cry, Annette Bening, American Beauty. I think I would go Annette Bening on this one.
Hillary Swank.
Really? Wow. There you go. I had 2 opposite sides on it. Evelyn, how likely is it Superman Man of Tomorrow? That's not what it's called. How likely is it Man of Tomorrow finally adapts Brainiac for the film? A villain smart as Lex and strong as Superman makes sense for a team up. Also, who would you cast? Give Henry Cavill some green skin. Henry Cavill is not coming anywhere near this James Gunn universe until way down the road, in my opinion.
This guy won't even be allowed to visit the set. Besides, he's going to be busy doing Highlander.
Yeah, Highlander. And then Warhammer, apparently. Who's it? Jummin Hunsu joined the cast, I think, for Highlander, right? Or was it Warhammer? I can't
remember. Was talking about that as like, what is it? A Guardians reunion, right? Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan. This is a Gladiator reunion. God damn it!
That's a good point. Yeah. I think Brainiac will be in it. I don't know who I would cast as Brainiac. I mean, I thought Matthew Goode was incredible in Department Q, and I loved him as Ozymandias in Watchmen. So, to me, you want to have an arrogant smartass who looks intimidating? Matthew Goode, I think, would be my choice. Jeff?
I don't know Brainiac from a hole in the wall. So.
Oh, okay. All right, fair point. Fantastic 314 says, show my support for the hot mic. Any Star Wars news, since it should be a recurring question of the show? Jeff, any Star Wars news that you can reveal?
Patience, little one.
Patience, Padawan. Okay, fair point. Let's hit the Streamlabs. Where the hell is those? Okay, there they are. All right, we'll go back an hour. Real Talk 365. A production listing shows a film currently titled Don't Borrow Trouble, produced by A24 and Ryan Johnson's T Street. It's a thriller starring Jenna Ortega and set to film in New York next month. Is this correct? And who is directing? Jeff, do you know anything about this?
Other than the listing, no, I don't. Haven't heard anything about it.
Okay. Jenna Ortega, another film. All right. Tim says, Johnny boy, Marvel is currently holding the release date of 7/23/27. That's July 23rd, 2027, 2 weeks after Man of Tomorrow. Should they release a movie considering F4 released 2 weeks after Supes and disappointed financially? Secret Wars is the only other 2027 release for Marvel. What do you think about this, Jim?
I mean, should they release another movie? Not if it's like not ready.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rush anything out. But like, I don't know, Superman didn't really perform like an Avatar movie where like you put Avatar or Avengers anywhere on the calendar and you see the ripples, right? And you get some space on either side of it. Superman didn't really perform like that. Like no one's going to be scared to put their movie the week after Superman.
Yeah, it wasn't like Jurassic World with $800 million, but I would say that it, when you're talking Fantastic Four, that's a different scenario. It's new characters, new cast, new approach. So yeah, it didn't catch on. But if you make that a Doctor Strange 3 film, then that's a whole nother ballgame, isn't it? People are very familiar with the character and familiar with that. So that's a stronger hand to play if you're going to counter Man of Tomorrow.
I agree. I don't think, Fantastic Four was better. It would have done better. I don't think it's like, oh, Superman was there and that's why Fantastic Four didn't do well. Right.
Agreed. Yeah, Fantastic Four was amazing and which I liked, but I think if it was like one of these amazing, groundbreaking, undeniable, great films from Marvel, then I think it would have been just fine after Superman. Mike McKenzie says the Call of Duty games recently have been the Michael Bay of video games. Obviously, this is what Paramount is going to have in mind. Michael Bay for Call, isn't he just a little bit past? I mean, he could use it, but isn't he just a little bit past on this one, Jeff?
This is Michael Bay for which one?
Call of Duty.
Yeah, no, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
No. Michael Bay for G.I. Joe.
I could see that. Sure. A little less than Call of Duty. Yeah. Fernando says, Gunn said Peacemaker season 2 sets up Man of Tomorrow. As a casual fan who hasn't watched the first season, I have no intention of watching any of DC's show. Is Gunn making the same mistake Marvel had with shows making fans do homework? I think I'd be hesitant to just put this on James Gunn. And look, I will put a lot of things on Gunn, but I think this is a Warner Brothers thing. They want the synergy. They want to get you to watch all their content. That is what is a part of all of this. And so I don't think it's James Gunn's choice to do it this way, but this is how the company is deciding to do it. What do you think, Jeff?
I think even one of the raves that I read about Superman at the time, it was like all about how James is just is clearly in love with his own writing.
Yes, he is.
And that's what this feels like to me, where it's just like I love Peacemaker so much. Like, I need him to be part of Superman. I need to combine these things. And I think it'd probably be better off if you kept them separate, but he's just so in love with, and I guess you have to be as a writer. You want to love your own stuff and your characters, but
yeah,
I think that it could be a mistake.
Yeah. I'm already seeing the strains of his writing this season. So those jokes, the bird blindness thing, they're so ridiculous. They're so corny, man. John for Bar says, hey guys, I learned so much from your show and it's always a treat to watch every week. Are you guys going to be showing up on New Rock Stars for a show of theirs within this year? Well, we tried to come on a week or two ago, and they said that they were shooting a bunch of podcasts that week and had some studio construction going on. So we've pushed it to another month, but hopefully, Jeff, right?
Yes, because we need a larger platform to talk about Sydney Sweeney's jeans. No, I'll try to dig up some Star Wars stuff for that appearance. We'll see.
Yeah. Daniel says, hey guys, who is likely going to write Raimi's Doctor Strange 3? Also has Verbinski's Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die turned out well. I really hope he'll return to Hollywood properly. Pirate 6 is in development, so why not hire the best director for that franchise? Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be Gore Verbinski. Again, you just get this is life, right? Yeah, he could do it. He's done it before. He has the talent and ability, but that's not who's going to get that job. It's going to be one of these young guns that the studios are high on. Yeah. And if they were high on Gore Verbinski, someone other than Briarcliff would have picked up the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I have nothing but respect for Tom Wardenberg. I think he has exceptional taste, and I think that this movie has a decent cast, and that's why Briarcliff picked it up. They can sell it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything whether it turned out good or not, but I think at the very least it'll be interesting and watchable.
What do you think? Who do you think is writing Raimi's Doctor Strange 3? I couldn't possibly guess.
No clue.
Anonymous says, really appreciate really appreciate for all you guys do. Been watching both of you for almost a decade now, since high school. So thank you for everything. Wow, have I been doing this for 10 fucking years? Jesus.
Dude, how old are we?
What was your favorite movie theater experience? It's been hard to top Infinity War opening night for me. I mean, that's up there. And I at a press screening. That is up there. Infinity War.
I've had a lot of good ones, but one of the first great ones I will go back to is X2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
X2 was a memorable screening. People were fucking amped for that. And the movie was great.
Yeah. For me, Saving Private Ryan, I remember, that was my first experience. And I watched this in Virginia. That was my first experience with people reflexively and organically clapping after a section of the movie. After that opening 30 minutes, there was a clap that burst out through the audience. And I was like, wow, yeah. I mean, yeah. So I just remember that being the experience. Now, the rest of the movie isn't as strong as the opening, in my opinion, but I remember that opening as being incredible and people reacting to it organically.
Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Oh, yeah.
That was a wild screening. That was just like going to a rock concert.
That's true. That's actually really true. Jeremy Strong deserves an Oscar. I know John broke the news about an unpleasant exchange. I didn't break the news. I did not break the news on this. People had talked about it. People had this news. I just spoke about it casually with Christian. I did not know I was opening the door to this. I just really want to make that clear because I don't want to take any credit away from anybody.
What are you talking about?
The news about the exchange between the two, the fight that happened on the Doomsday set. I just want to make it clear. And I know he didn't say names, so I'm sorry people put names in your mouth. Also, can you guys tell us similar altercations in previous Marvel, DC, Star Wars projects that we don't know about? I don't think I can do that.
Evangeline Lilly kicked the shit out of Paul Rudd on the set. She was fed up with him.
I don't think there's any we don't know about that I know about. Pretty much those always tend to leak out. You know, I saw the one this week, the rumor that it was David Harbour and Wyatt Russell, and those are not the names I heard. I don't know.
Are people stupid?
I don't know. I mean, I did tweet out.
Don't answer that question.
Okay. I did tweet out a few weeks ago questioning the intelligence of the audience, movie-going audience. So you know my answer. Doug Developer says Arnold and Eastwood spoke at RNCs and came away unscathed. That's not true. I think because their idea of being a Republican is mostly policy focused instead of culture war. Despite their ages, they don't seem to come across as those who cry woke this, woke that. Well, no, because, I mean, Eastwood spoke to a chair. That was a pretty bad situation. But Schwarzenegger, yeah, he's always kind of been above it all because he's also been an anti-Trump person. So it's allowed him to play all the sides on this. So.
I'll spill the beans on Doomsday for $1,800.
There you go.
That's how much car repairs cost today.
There you go.
So fans, get a pool together, unite, get a drive going, send me $1,800 and I will tell you who it was.
Jeff will give you the names.
My Venmo is Jeff-Schneider.
Let's all make it clear. I did not break this story.
My story. It was my story to break.
Thank you. I casually mentioned it because we had talked about it on the show, on Christian's show, and I had no idea people were going to take off and run with it and start creating. Because Christian even mentioned the fact that we had talked about it on the hot mic. So to me, I just was like underlining what he had already mentioned, and it took off and got a life of its own. But I will shoot down rumors of people that were not involved in the story because I don't think they shouldn't get any kind of crap.
Different combinations, all 75 actors in the Avengers, and we'll knock them off one by one.
Samuel says, "What is your favorite Robert Altman movie?" Mine is The Player. Jeff, do you have a favorite Robert Altman movie?
No, I don't like guy. No, I don't like him.
He's not really my guy.
No, not my guy.
Yeah. But I guess even The Player is not like everyone's like, ooh, The Player exposed Hollywood. And I never felt that when I was watching the movie. I was like, it was fine. Yeah, I'm looking through. I don't even think Nashville's that great. I certainly don't think Popeye's that great. Maybe The Long Goodbye, the one with Elliot Gould. I like that one. Yeah.
He's not my guy.
Yeah. I don't even like McCabe and Mrs. Miller, and I love Westerns. All right, one last one, I think. Oh, no, wait, hold on. Yeah. Alan Smithy, Bill Murray's on set assault allegations detailed in new Aziz interview from THR. What do you think? Did he go too far, or is it just Murray being Murray? I haven't read it or seen it, Jeff. Have you?
Ooh, good question, Alan Smithy. Both. The answer is both. I think that what he did, you can't do anymore.
Right.
You know? And someone should have sent him that email. He, probably knew better. But do I think that there's anything like malicious about it? No, I think it's like an old guy, like probably messing around with someone who he thought could take the joke, whatever, would be flattered by the attention. And, that's not how he's viewed anymore. He's viewed as like a creepy old white guy. And this was like peak time to attack creepy old white guys. So whether it's him or Frank Langella, I mean, Bill Murray's rebounded fine. I don't think anybody holds that incident against him, except maybe, whoever lost money financing that movie that never got finished. Maybe Aziz is stoked with him. The timing wasn't good for Aziz, but I don't think we'll ever see that movie finished. But part of it's just like, I don't know. These are just old guys being creepy old guys. It's not like he like took his dick out or anything. I don't know.
Not that that's the bar, but yes.
A little bit of both. Yeah. Like definitely inappropriate. Can't do that anymore, Bill. But like, do we need to throw away like a $40 million movie because of it? No.
Yeah. And I thought, if you stand your ground and you push back on this stuff, I think that's a strong move in terms of the Lucy Liu's reaction, or who was it? Who was it on? Oh, it was Keke Palmer's reaction. Like, she stood her ground, pushed back on it. To cancel it, I don't know. I mean, I think there might have been more going on in that situation than just the.
It's probably like, why are we paying for an Aziz Ansari movie starring Keke Palmer and Bill Murray? Can we get out of this?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, something happens, great. We're going to pull the plug. Insurance will cover it. Thank God we're out.
That's what I think. I think they were looking for an excuse, and excuse presented itself, and they took it. That's what I think. Wayne Edwards says, happy Friday, fellas. Hey, have you seen the trailer for the new Netflix film, A House Full of Dynamite? I dig the trailer. I got just enough of the story. I'm getting fail-safe vibes. Yeah, the Catherine Bigelow film, Jeff. The trailer dropped a few days ago. I like the trailer, but you said you haven't heard the greatest thing. So what are your thoughts on the trailer?
Again, I think this movie's going to be boring. It's going to be a lot of people just sitting in front of screens going, oh, there's a missile incoming. The missile's coming. The missile's coming. And then right before the missile hits, it's like, let's go to another perspective. And they're like, the missile's coming. The missile's coming. The missile's coming. What are we going to do? And then cut. Let's go to another perspective. And then you just it's rinse and repeat. So I don't think it's going to I think the critics are setting it up for a fail.
There you go. That Shadow says, what has you guys more excited for the rest of the year? The movies or TV shows that are coming out? In my opinion, it's the TV shows.
It's 100. I mean, I've seen half the TV shows. It's the TV shows.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It's the TV shows. If for no other reason, then there's more of them than there are films coming out that I'm interested in. There's more TV shows that I'm interested in coming out than there are films coming out that I'm interested in.
I mean, it's just like I just got screeners for The Beast in Me with like Claire Danes.
Oh yeah,
and Matthew Rhys, I think.
Right.
There's Death by Lightning.
Yeah,
those shows are like the bottom of the list, right? But they're still interesting shows. If you were to tell me, hey, there's going to be a movie, about the guy who killed the president, and it's Michael Shannon and Matthew McFadden, that'd be a movie that I'd want to see. That would be like Oscar fodder, except now it's like a 6 or 8 episode show. So yeah.
And Slow Horses, that the trailer for the new season dropped this week. I've seen the entire new season on the Apple app, and I don't think I'm allowed to say one, but I'll tell you this: it's an excellent fucking season. And Apple can come after me if they want. It's the best. It's maybe arguably one of the best seasons they've ever done of that show. It's phenomenal. Michael says, Jeff, what are you usually snacking on during the show? Oh God, Jeff.
All kinds of stuff. Goldfish, Doritos. Today was watermelon.
Where do you get your watermelon from, bro? Where do you even get your watermelon?
Although I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. On the rare occasions when I go to Erewhon.
Oh, what? You little princess. You go to Erewhon to have your oranges peeled for you? You little princess.
I don't go all the time. It's way too expensive for me to go all the time. I can't.
Yes, it is.
But when I do go, I do kind of love the fruit and the presentation of the fruit. It's just better fruit than I feel like Ralph's is getting.
I bet you like the fruit. All right, there we go.
I'm not going there getting the $22 Haley Bieber smoothie. I'm getting my special pretzels or my special spicy popcorn.
Mr. Salt of the Earth over here, metrosexual. Get out of here, man. Get out of here with the Erewhon. So, Mr. Poppy says, support for the Hot Mic Bros. Thank you, Mr. Poppy. Appreciate it.
Poppy.
Jeff, we'd be remiss to end the show without talking about Graham Greene, who passed away this week, man. A fantastic actor who was part of so many incredible movies and TV shows. Of course, notable with Dances with Wolves, was nominated for an Oscar for that one. Also, recently in The Last of Us and Echo, he stood out. He appeared in The Green Mile as well. He was only 73 when he passed away, but he was in TV shows like Murder, She Wrote, movies like Casino Jack, Longmire, Maverick, Transamerica, even in the Twilight Saga, and did voiceover work for Red Dead Redemption 2, which I'm currently playing Red Dead Redemption 2. But yeah, an incredible actor, certainly an activist and powerful member of the Native American community. Passed away at only 73, Jeff. It's kind of heartbreaking to see that, but I always loved him, man. What are your thoughts on Graham Greene, bro?
Yeah, really enjoyed him. He was a solid character actor. I've never seen Dances with Wolves, so I have not.
Whoa!
I know that's one of the big holes in my modern movie-going filmography. But I kind of liked it when he wasn't playing the Native American guy.
Yeah,
right. Like where he's just allowed to be a character, as in Die Hard with a Vengeance. His
really
play into things there. He's just a a guy I totally believe as a detective, the one who's like hustling all the kids out of the school at the end.
Yep.
I love Die Hard with a Vengeance. So that's the first movie that I thought of. But yeah, Wind River.
Yeah, Wind River.
Got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. And steadily worked through so many decades, through the 80s, 90s, 2000s.
There's only so many roles for Native Americans, and so if you got in at the right time into this business, you're going to be the Native American guy they call for decades to come. And there were a few of those guys, Wes Studi or whatever.
Wes Studi, right? Yeah. But you're right. Like films like Snow Dogs, where he's not playing necessarily the Native American, he's playing a person who happens to be Native American, but it's not necessarily the point of it. Combined with the stuff where he has played, because I thought Wind River, he was excellent Wind River as well. So yeah. But yes, a loss for sure. A fantastic actor that we lost way too early at only 73, because people are living till 105 now, man, for God's sakes. All right, Jeff, anything else you want to talk about? We've answered all the questions. Anything else you want to hit on? Are we good?
I'm trying to think if I should share this rumor that I heard.
Ooh.
I think I might.
Yeah, all right, bring it.
Well, I still have no idea what is going on with a little franchise called Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah.
I feel like they're in a holding pattern while they still figure out what's going on with the next movie. Are they making another sequel? I think that they still want to do the Hobbs versus Dante Reyes movie.
Oh yeah.
Right. But I heard an interesting rumor recently. It came from a crew person. Okay. And it was like they were just really stoked because they'd heard that they had they've been working with the franchise for a while involving like the cars and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that they've basically been assured work for the next few years in Los Angeles because there's plans to do a series.
A Fast and the Furious series?
Yes.
Wow.
Now, again, I don't know if that series isn't going to move forward until they figure out what's going on with the movie.
Right.
But it was believable enough because I know that they wanted to do the series, right? Mm-hmm. That's why they had young Dom and those characters in F9. And I think Diesel put his foot down on that front. But now that things have stalled, and I don't think that you'd bring back those actors who played young Dom in them. I think you'd kind of need guys who can lead a TV show rather than kind of just, cheap young actors you don't have to pay for a movie.
Right.
But that wouldn't surprise me. What I'd heard was that the show would be set in the 90s. And so they were looking for all these really cool 70s and 80s muscle cars or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. You can take that with a grain of salt. I think it's been out there that Donna Langley has talked about plans to do a Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
It was just interesting because this guy seemed assured of having steady work for years to come, and the show would be shot locally in LA, so he wouldn't have to move, him and his family.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, they have a history of creating TV shows off their content, right? The Continental was off of the John Wick stuff, so why wouldn't?
Well, that's that was a Lionsgate movie,
right?
Peacock.
It's Peacock. Yeah.
To me, it's Fast and Furious seems like a very expensive proposition for Peacock.
They did Twisted Metal. That doesn't look like a cheap show.
No, it's not. But it's not Fast and Furious. I mean, would Universal outsource it? Would they actually produce a show for an outside streamer or something? I don't know. So I didn't run in the newsletter because I really don't think Universal is going to comment on Fast and Furious plans at this point. And again, sources said everything's kind of in a holding pattern right now. But feels like it's been in a holding pattern for 2 years. What's going on with this franchise? How is it still in a holding pattern? Or are there things actually happening behind the scenes we just don't know about?
Good point. Michael chimes in saying, "What's with Diesel prematurely posting about movies on his IG like James Gunn?" I don't know. I don't follow him on Instagram, so I don't know.
He's trying to, get the buzz going. Just all he has to do is say something with Fast and Furious, and then that ignites a wave of social media speculation, and the fans come out and remind Universal that they're fans. And the idea is to show Universal, hey, there's still gas left in this tank.
Yeah.
That's what those posts are all about. It's all manipulate. You're using your social media to manipulate sentiment.
Yeah. Jenna says, do you guys know if Noah Hawley's being offered any other upcoming TV or film projects? Do you know what he is currently making for a project he wants to do? I don't know anything past the Alien Earth, Jeff. Do you?
I mean, Fargo. There's going to be another season of Fargo, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe so. So I don't know if that would be next or if he has his idea yet. I imagine that FX is pressuring him for that, though.
Right. He's listed as a writer on 2 projects on IMDb: Nowhere Fast, which he's writing and directing, starring Chris Pine, and Cat's Cradle, which is supposed to be a TV movie that he's working on.
Cat's Cradle is like the book that will never get cracked by Hollywood. I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. I think that Going Nowhere Fast or whatever is exactly the right title for any Chris Pine vehicle right now. he just changed. I think he changed managers this week.
Wow.
It's a big deal because he's been with the same guy for a long time. But yeah,
because the guy said it was okay to do Pool Man. Like, sometimes these actors blame their managers. Like I saw Katie Sackhoff saying, "Oh, my manager, gave me bad advice," and I get it, but your manager's trying to get you to work, and so blaming your manager for the choices you agree to do, take some responsibility for your decisions. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, and the last film he wrote was Lucy in the Sky. So, are you excited to see Noah Hawley write? Maybe films aren't where he belongs,
I mean, I kind of agree with you, but I don't know. I'm down to see Sam Esmail's new movie, Panic Carefully, with Julia. True.
We'll see. All right, well, let's wrap it up there, Jeff. Let's get on out of here. Let's start our weekend early. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. We really appreciate it. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, as I said, and hit that bell button. We're so close to 50,000 subscribers. We have thousands of you who watch the show. If you're not subscribed to this channel, so when you get the bell button to let you know we're changing sometimes because of scheduling, the easiest way is to subscribe and hit that bell button so you know when changes come up on the show, because we usually go Thursdays live at 4 p.m. PT. Couldn't do it this week, but please do that. Jeff, where can they follow you and subscribe to your newsletter, brother?
Contact. It's the secret. No, theinsnider.com. And yeah, I do have a full newsletter that is coming together. I don't know if I'll get it out tonight or tomorrow morning, but yeah, that has a whole bunch of headlines from this week. There's a lot of news this week. I mean,
yeah, there was
time, so just throwing shit at the wall, see what sticks. And we took FYC off this week, but I will be back on FYC next week. And Johnny, great to see you, buddy.
You too, brother. Thank you very much. All right, much love, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. Go see a movie, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode here of the Hot Mic Piece. Until then.